So you're on your way to some banging party or school or work.
No one cares.
Yeah, whatever. Point is, you're minding your own business, admiring the tattoo you got after the first time you met your future mother-in-law, and some little punk throws a rock at the window. Cabin depressurizes, trust me, it's science, and the chopper goes down. It's gonna be a long weekend. Step 1 is to stock up on essentials. And when I say stock up on essentials, obviously I mean booze, and lots of it. But you do need to stay hydrated when you're smashing the liquor, so before we get the party started, we're going to need to find some basics to stay alive. Now, Kelvin was on supply duty before he fell out the helicopter and landed on his head, which is goddamn lucky because otherwise he might have died. Kelvin was in charge of packing before we left, and I'm pretty sure he was smoking something, because if you look at the scattering of boxes, there's some pretty weird things here. But if you can find any munch, then grab it, because this is going to keep you alive before we get to the good shit. And don't tell Kelvin if you find something to eat, this guy's clearly already had enough sugar. These packets of food are called MREs, which according to the Army Field Guide stands for Meals Rejected by Ethiopians. Yeah, I might need to fact check that one. Tasty or not, it's packed full of nutrients and sorts out that little fuel gauge found here. Now, obviously, without bourbon, these cans of Monster are essentially undrinkable, but this is a survival situation you're going to have to make do. Don't worry though, because in a little bit we will upgrade to dirty pond water. But in the meantime, hold your nose, knock it back, and hide the evidence. Sadly, Mandy crashed and burned in the other chopper, so this is your best bet if you want to rave all night, which, obviously, you do. Next, grab a tarp and a stick. Boom! Save the game. And don't even think about sleeping. You can sleep when you're dead. Next, break it down. This exercise is known as mental preparation. Everything you build in this game is expendable. Get used to it. Plus, you're going to want to keep that tarp in hand as it's your mobile safe station. Now, I've landed in the mountain here, but you might be in the forest or on the beach. But 12 seconds of Googling and the first link I clicked reveals that apparently the snow-capped mountains are in fact the most likely place to start. But people online also say that the Earth is flat and British people survive on fish and chips, which is bullshit. The Earth is obviously donut shaped and English people mainly eat shit sandwiches, so don't trust the internet. Trust me instead. Either way, if you do start in the forest...
Get to the chopper!
Shut the fuck up, Arnie. Look at the chopper. Oh man, you need to get to the North Beach. Same applies if you're in the mountains, because it's cold up here and there's nothing to drink. Mountains are for advanced, badass players like me.
It's true.
But follow me and I'll have you back up here building towering log fortress extravaganzas before you know it. Trust me. If you get thirsty, you can drink river water, but remember the phrase, everything in moderation. It doesn't just apply to chocolate and Valium, it also applies to river water. Advantage is it is abundant and it tastes better than Monster energy drinks. Disadvantage is it gives you the shits.
Crouch, clench, release.
Unfortunately, End Night ran out of budget, so they weren't actually able to animate the rampant diarrhea, so you just have to use your imagination, which I think is a cheap move on their part, if you ask me, but they were kind enough to provide a sound effect, so that's cool, I guess. Side note, if you take 3 gulps, the game will take the opportunity to tell you what kind of person it is who drinks pond water. Now, this is a working theory, but I'm pretty sure this N refers to Nirvana, which is the name of the beach because it's beautiful. More importantly, tourists haven't found it yet, so I found it to be a golden spot to get fucked up. Plus, the seafood is to die for, trust me. And if you're already at the beach, gather some sticks so you can sit down and meditate. We'll get back to you. Right, pop quiz, let's see if you've been listening. Where are we going?
Beach, 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 beach.
That is right, Jane the Virgin. That's probably why you're still a virgin, because you listen to me. No, seriously. You know what happens to people who don't go to the beach? They,
Get fucked.
Yes. Right, let's go. And don't fight anybody. Right now you're packing as much heat as an ice cube. Don't stop for nothing or nobody. Well, except for maybe tarps, sticks, meds, rations, drinks, cloth, rope, maybe booze. Oh, fuck it, I know you're going to stop anyway. I can tell you're one of them greedy ones just by looking at you. But don't fight anybody. That knife won't do jack. It's for carving out real weapons. Obviously, a solid headbutt is by far your best weapon, but I can't find the button on the keyboard, so I'll get back to you on that. Now, there is a stream that becomes a river that leads all the way from the mountains and down to the North Beach. But this one to the left has a fork, and if you follow it left, you'll find a cave at the end. Here you'll find some cloth that we're going to need to burn stuff later, but also some rope, and when you combine that with a couple of sticks and some of the duct tape you should have found at the crash site, you have yourself a bow, which is obviously the first thing you should build in any survival situation. Also, take a look at this guy. Now, you'll see from his pallid complexion and the spear rammed up his arse that he is in fact dead. This is known as the Darwin effect, which is when particularly stupid people die first. Case in point, quick rifle through his pockets will reveal that he brought a slingshot with him to this cannibal-infested hellscape. You can then take the slingshot and arc pebbles over and around birds, which will help you imagine what the last few seconds of this dickhead's life was probably like. After which I suggest you stow it in this box and never fucking look at it again, because it's a prank by the developers designed to humiliate you. Anyway, you shouldn't be dawdling, keep running till you get to the beach, otherwise you'll miss all the rays and you won't get to see the sick view. Trust me, it is to die for. Lest you actually die, and then it's probably not worth it. But hey, just keep running and jumping and swimming and skipping for all I care. Just don't stop until you get to the beach. Just get there. When you see a yellow digger alongside the right of the river, then you've not got very long to go. There's even a couple of gold carts next to it that you can hijack for some hijinks on the river, and if not, grab the resin and the batteries because they will be useful later. If you get to the beach before sundown, sit down and meditate. We'll get back to you. Everybody else is, well...
Dead you are already.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The locals on the island, they're all about the long game. Some things you just can't rush, and that includes eating people. Which is actually fortunate for you, because if it goes dark and you do succumb to a bad case of getting beaten the fuck to death, you'll wake up like this. Now, obviously waiting for somebody to turn into cured meats takes, well, I don't know, probably months. And so while they wait, they like to play a little game. And the way this really fun game works is, they hang you up, put all of your stuff right in front of you, and then they put a razor-sharp hunting knife in your pocket, and then they turn around and they see if you have got the balls to try some shit. Now, most people get easily confused and probably think getting eaten sounds like a fun night in, but they'd be wrong, because that's not how they do things here. Obviously, you ain't no normal person. So you're going to cut that rope, grab your bright yellow "you'll never see me hide in the bushes" backpack, and get the fuck out of there. Side note, they're sore losers and they won't want to play the game again for a little while, so this is not the time to get big-headed. Live to fight another day. And guess where you're going? Oh yeah, the North Beach. Now, once we hit the shoreline, the very first thing you have to do is see the local attractions. Turn right, follow the beach. First up on our left, we have an attraction by famed artist Damien Hirst called Two Sleeping Orcas. Yes, it is constructed from dead orcas, and no, don't feel bad, you're going to meet live orcas later, at which point you'll realise in the miserable world of Sons of the Forest, you will definitely prefer them when they're dead. More importantly, we can see a lone Converse on a rock. Whoever lost it probably got tired of people taking the piss, and so they upgraded to Crocs. And finally, we have some rope. Take the rope, because we're going to use that to kill things later. Now, Kelvin's got a mate called Farquhar who's been living on the beach since last full moon party, and like most beach bums, he doesn't actually believe in material possessions, so we can just swing by and take all this stuff. And on the way, you're going to have the opportunity to sample the local cuisine. They're called oysters, and they are the best, because they fill your tummy, they quench your thirst, and they make the most ASMR sound every time you slurp one down. Yeah. Again. Love it. Best bit is they heal your wounds. So get slurping. These things are everywhere, especially around Farquhar. Now don't worry about using your tarp, because when you're with Farquhar, you live like a king. We're talking tents, baby. Yes, Farquhar, nice flare, mate. Rave started already. Right, now looking around, we have tape, which is sick, because that's essential for lots of stuff. We got a boiling pot, which is the second best kind of pot, and the only one you're going to find in this game, so grab it. And we got booze! Yes, Farquhar! And most importantly, Farquhar has a toothbrush. Wait, what's this? Jesus, Farquhar, what the fuck were you planning on doing with this? You alright, mate? Oh, it looks like he drank too much. I think we should look after this so he doesn't hurt himself. Alright, let's try it out on this weird iPad. Ooh, a drinks coaster. Nice. At this stage, you can try sleeping. Even party monsters like yourself need to top up a little Z's from time to time. But before you do, I'd pop around the corner and grab these 2 extra spears Farquhar left out, because you might need them, as you can carry 5 in total. I suggest assigning them to quick slots using the number keys. And if you don't have one, do yourself a favour, pause the game, pop out, and get yourself a mouse that has thumb buttons, like this awesome Razer mouse that you can quickly select stuff on. No, I don't have a sponsorship, I fucking wish. I'm just saying it because I love my mouse. But seriously, I even swapped out those wanky DPI buttons that literally nobody fucking uses. So this one's for my lighter, and this one's for my GPS. Sick. Anyway, mouse tactics aside, take note. When you sleep, you might get lucky and see daylight. If not, good luck. You got spears and a machete now, but no armour. We'll get to work on the armour in the morning, but in the meantime, just don't get hit. Remember, always start by trying to take people out at range. Headshots count, and spears can be collected for a second use. No blocking with a spear, because when you right click you basically wing it, so don't let them get close. Once you're out of ammo, just remember that nobody ever stayed alive from fighting fair. Your best bet is to stab people in the back, obviously. Even better when they're crying for mercy. And if you're really lucky, they'll stop to cry over their loved ones. Fortunately, you're not capable of love, so just do what any heroic protagonist does, take them out with vengeance, and then write all the history books. Nobody will ever know. If you get killed, this is the camp you have to escape from. And this is where Farquhar lives. You'll want to get back to his camp so you can suck up all the oysters, most of which are abundant in this shallow area just around the corner. So if you do get snuffed and wake up here, you'll need to go west along the shoreline or anti-clockwise around the island. By the way, if you don't know what clockwise means, basically that's the direction that right-handed people walk when firmly gripping onto a phallic-shaped object. Just close your eyes and think about it. Once your health and sustenance gauges are tip-top, if you haven't raided it already, you'll want to visit this camp because they have got some pretty juicy things going on. Now, around this area, you're going to see some turtles. Apparently, if you kill sea turtles, you can't get the good ending because the game recognises that you're a total piece of shit. I know this is survival we're talking about, but ideally you want to survive with your fucking soul intact. Natives, yes. Gentle sea giants, no. What you can do is throw spears at seagulls because seagulls are the best prey in the game. Not only do they basically land in front of you and not move like total mugs, they provide both meat and feathers. Feathers are going to be useful for making arrows. Also, meat does rot pretty fast, so bear it in mind. But before we head back into town, you want to be carrying 5 pieces so we can make some banging stew. Before then though, harvest as many feathers as you can get your hands on. Feathers plus little rocks and sticks will make arrows. Make a decent stock of them as they're easy to burn through. And they're harder to aim than the spear, but they are the next best thing early game. Now remember, you're not a hunter, you're a gatherer. So kill everybody who's around you, but if they run away, fuck them. Don't judge me. You never heard the phrase, do as I say, not as I do? Oh god, I just quoted my dad. These places are like a lucky dip. Some have permanent resources, like perhaps cloth hanging over a rack or sea turtle shells lying around so that you don't have to do the dirty yourself. Others might have a caught monster that they tried to play the same game with as you, except, well, it doesn't have opposable thumbs, so it basically can't use the knife. This place usually has plenty of rope. So, along with the tape from Farquhar, the rope from this camp, now all we need is bones. And how we get bones is, well, it's science, I'll show you. Assuming you've made a bow, then personally I would use all the rope and tape to make as much armour as you can, because armour is as close to a level up as you're going to get. Well, other than actual level ups, but level ups don't put food on the table and they don't protect you from damage, so focus on armour. It makes everything easier, which means it's easier to collect more resources, which makes everything easier, and so on. By this stage, ideally you should have a machete, 5 spears, a bow with a bunch of arrows, hunger, thirst and health all topped up thanks to oysters and seagull meat, sea turtle shells that can be very useful in advanced fabrication or to just collect water later on, some spare food and drinks, a healthy collection of armour, and a beautiful view of the sea. Next up, we're going to go find us a gun. Hope you enjoyed the journey so far. A subscribe or even just a like would help me so much, so if you enjoyed the video then please do me a solid. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself and hopefully see you next time.